Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. We'll analyze yesterday's vote with Karl Rove and Rudy Giuliani in a moment, plus brand new Fox polling in Ohio and Florida. But first, a talking points memo: fascism and Donald Trump. As predicted here, some in the media, both left and right, are portraying Mr. Trump as a 1930s type fascist and his supporters as budding brown shirts, the Nazi Party's street army in Germany.
Mr. Trump, with some of the rhetoric you've used on the campaign trail over the last several months, targeting groups like Muslims and Mexicans, that evokes images of Nazi Germany and the scapegoating of Jews there back in the 1930s and 40s.
Well, I think that's a big stretch.
It's more than a big stretch. It's a strategy with the intention of not only demeaning Trump, but his supporters as well. The candidate aside, it's not hard to understand why many Americans are voting for Donald Trump. For the past 7 years, the folks have been witness to the following: intense verbal attacks on police officers, labeling them racists who hunt down young black men; a porous southern border where narcotics and people smuggling continue unabated; a stagnant economy where workers have little bargaining power; a growing jihadist terror threat that the Democratic Party refuses to define, not even using the words Islamic terrorism; a Democratic president who, after he announces the beheading of an American citizen by ISIS, goes out to play golf; a culture that now demands political correctness even if it goes against sincerely held religious beliefs; a legal system that may actually harm a business owner if he or she does not want to participate in a gay marriage; or Catholic nuns who don't want to distribute birth control; a press corps that generally embraces liberalism, using its constitutional privilege to diminish non-liberals who have the temerity to speak out; an educational system dominated by leftist teachers and administrators who often impose their view of the world on defenseless children; and a grievance industry that is often promoted by the media, thus allowing anti-American zealots to define this country as evil and oppressive, i.e., America is the real problem in the world. In the face of all that, an avenger named Trump has risen, promising to stop the madness and giving blunt voice to millions of angry Americans. The movement that Trump represents has nothing to do with fascism, everything to do with furious dissent. This memo's not a campaign ad for Trump. I know for a fact that some very bad people are trying to exploit his campaign to disguise racial and social hatred. They're doing that. Donald Trump should loudly condemn those people and tone down some of his own inflammatory rhetoric. Just tell us what you want to do. No need to incite. Same thing is happening with the Bernie Sanders crew, where some haters are supporting Bernie in order to tear down marketplace freedoms and inflict pain on prosperous Americans. The cold truth is, charges of racism and fascism are easy smears designed to stop freedom of expression and stifle debate. Here's more truth. The USA turned for the worse long before Donald Trump ever entered the political arena, and Germany has nothing to do with it. And that's the memo. Now to the top story tonight reaction. Joining us from Miami, Bernie Goldberg, who has written a column on this fascism business on his website. And you say?
Bill, the crazy wing of the far left accused George W. Bush of being Hitler and a Nazi. Some conservatives have done the same to Barack Obama. Now we have the latest edition of this slander. Donald Trump is Hitler. You know what? There are plenty of reasons, in my view, plenty of legitimate reasons to criticize Donald Trump. But to make comparisons to Hitler is beyond disgraceful. Let me give you some specifics that you alluded to in a vague way. A professor from Harvard wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post recently comparing the rise of Hitler to the rise of Trump. Saturday Night Live just the other day made the comparison. Bill Maher made the comparison. And Louis C.K., a very big-time comedian, flat out said Trump is Hitler. Okay? On the other side, Glenn Beck made the comparison. David Brooks of the New York Times went on a Sunday talk show and said, if we're going to get Trump, we might as well get the Nuremberg rallies to go with it. I'm going to read you 2 sentences from what I wrote in that article on my website. 2 sentences. Building a wall to keep illegals out is not the same as rounding up Jews and sending them to the gas chamber. Promising to temporarily ban all Muslims from entering our country is wrong-headed, but it's not the same as putting into place an efficient, cold-blooded apparatus to create a master race by eliminating anyone and everyone who doesn't fit the description. So look, if you don't like Donald Trump, fine. I don't like his unpresidential demeanor. But please, and I mean this, please don't demean the memory of the millions of people Hitler murdered just for a cheap laugh or, as you said in the talking points, to stifle dissent. Don't do that.
I agree 100%, and I don't think many Americans understand what really happened in Germany and Italy, to some extent Spain, during the 1930s, where you had a concerted effort, a brutal effort, to basically stop all, it's funny because the people who are doing this, they're using techniques that the Nazis used. So
that's right.
By them calling Trump a Nazi and his supporters little brown shirts, they're doing the same thing that Goebbels, who was the minister of propaganda, that Adolf and all of those boys did, because they demonized the Jews, the intellectuals, the communists, the gypsies, the homosexuals.
Right,
they demonized them in a way to try to get anger on the part of the German population toward those groups. It's the same thing that those in America are doing to try to get anger toward Trump and his followers.
Let me make 2 points. One, on the brown shirts matter. If there are any brown shirts in this country, it's liberals on college campuses who break up demonstrations and speeches because they disagree with what's being said. That's what the brown shirts did, and that's what some crazy liberals on college campuses are doing. A second point, you're absolutely right when you say Trump supporters are fueled and motivated by legitimate anger, not by fascism. But here's my question, Bill. Is the anger legitimate? Is it enough rather to support this feeling among some of these people that they embraced Donald Trump even after he said George W. Bush lied to get us into a war? Not that he made a mistake, not that the intelligence was bad, but that he flat out lied. This goes way beyond regular nonsense.
It does.
This is
but
crazy
that's not
stuff.
all Trump supporters. Look,
No,
many
of course
Trump
not.
supporters
Of course not.
overlook the candidates' idiosyncrasies and overstatements because they believe that the message they're sending by supporting him is more important, so that they accept the excess to send the message.
Absolutely, but when you make a career, as people on talk radio do, and some people on conservative television do, make a career by being conservative. That's not a side issue. That is the essence of what they are. To support a guy who said Bush lied is incomprehensible, and then to support, to look the other way when John McCain is insulted by Trump, not John McCain the politician. He's fair game. John McCain the POW.
Yeah, they don't look at it that way, though. Because
I don't care if they look at it.
Those people
I'm
aren't
saying too many
important
people
to them.
Too many people
McCain
in
and Bush aren't
conservative
important
media.
to them.
Too many people in conservative media are acting like schoolgirls at a Justin Bieber concert. They are gushing over him, and I understand the anger. I want to make that clear.
Divided,
I understand
though, as you pointed out. Glenn Beck doesn't like him, and there are conservative. I don't think Breitbart likes him very much. So it's divided. It's not a movement. Anyway, Bernie, good debate, good column. Check it out. Next on the rundown.